Katt here with Mountain Valor. Today, we are going to talk about the newest National Veteran Suicide Prevention Report. Not from a policy perspective or from a research standpoint, but from the perspective of people doing this work face-to-face in rural communities every single week. This is a reminder that statistics don't prevent suicide, connection does. True connection isn't something you can just create once a year with a big event or a single phone call. It's something you build slowly, consistently, over time, week after week after week, until trust exists. If you want to read the full report yourself, it is publicly available on the VA website. I encourage folks to do that, even though it's a hard read. Just search for the National Veteran Suicide Prevention Report and it will pop right up. Our role here isn't to replace that information. Instead, we will translate what those numbers actually look like in real life, in rural communities, in families, and in conversations happening at kitchen tables and library meeting rooms. Here are the major takeaways in plain language. In 2023, the most current year we have numbers for, 6,398 veterans died by suicide. That's roughly 17 and a half veterans every day. Younger veterans are at the highest risk. Rural veterans are at higher risk than urban veterans. Veterans who are not connected to any kind of care, not VA care, not community support, nothing, are at the highest risk of all. None of that surprised us because it aligns exactly with what we see across rural Virginia when we set up outreach events week after week. In rural communities, getting help is not simple. It isn't just making an appointment. It's distance, it's viable transportation, it's whether you can afford the fuel, it's whether you have reliable internet for telehealth, it's whether there's even a provider within driving range, or whether you can take that time off work. And sometimes it's pride, the very real reluctance many veterans have about asking for help at all. In rural areas, you plan an entire day around one appointment. If something goes wrong, weather, vehicle issues, a last-minute work conflict, no one to watch the kids, that opportunity disappears. That's why waiting for veterans to come to services doesn't work out here. So we go to them. We host weekly outreach events in places people already feel comfortable walking into: libraries, community centers, senior living facilities, local gathering spaces. Not because it's convenient, but because consistency builds trust. When we go to them, it removes the pressure of reaching out during a crisis. They don't have to decide whether to make a phone call or navigate a complicated system while overwhelmed. They just show up. And sometimes, oftentimes, simply showing up is the hardest part. The report talks a lot about risk factors: isolation, hopelessness, relationship struggles, chronic pain, sleep issues. Most of those are not things you fix with a single appointment or a single intervention. They are life circumstances that compound over time, especially when someone becomes disconnected from community. What we see most often isn't a dramatic moment. It's gradual withdrawal. Someone stops going out, stops answering calls, stops participating in things they used to enjoy, stops feeling like they belong anywhere. Isolation becomes normal, and once that happens, reaching back out feels impossible. That's why ongoing connection matters so much. Our weekly outreach events are not just informational. They are a lifeline. They are a predictable point of contact. They are a reminder that someone knows you exist and cares whether you are okay. Sometimes we help people navigate benefits. Sometimes we connect families to resources. Sometimes we just sit and listen and complain about things outside of our control together. And sometimes we're the reason someone left their house that week. That may sound small, but it isn't. Disconnection is one of the biggest predictors of crisis. Our annual event, Mountain Valor Fest, operates on the same principle at a larger scale. The festival is not separate from our outreach work. It is an extension of it. The festival is the moment the entire community comes together and realizes they're not alone. Veterans see other veterans. Families meet other families going through similar challenges. People who thought they were isolated discover they're part of something bigger. Resources are available, but without the stigma that often comes with formal settings. It's easier to walk up to a table at a festival than to walk into an office and ask for help. For many attendees, our event is the first time they reconnect with the veteran community after years of isolation. Once that door opens, we can continue the relationship. That report identifies protective factors too, like community, purpose, connection, hope. Sometimes prevention looks like counseling or medical care. Sometimes prevention looks like laughter, music, shared experiences, and being somewhere you don't have to explain yourself. Both matter. If we want to lower these numbers, we have to invest in connection just as much as we invest in crisis response. Crisis response is essential, but prevention happens long before someone reaches that point. It happens when someone notices you didn't show up this week. It happens when someone checks in. It happens when a community creates spaces where veterans and families feel welcome and understood. Supporting weekly outreach and events like Mountain Valor Fest isn't supporting just another veteran event. It's supporting suicide prevention. It's investing in the infrastructure of connection that keeps people from falling through the cracks. The report tells us how many we're losing. Our work at Mountain Valor is about making sure fewer families join that number. If you want to understand the full scope of the issue, the report is on the VA website. If you want to understand what it looks like on the ground, that's what we're here for. No one should have to fight this battle alone, especially after everything they've already carried.